7 by 14 wrapped canvas, and I base coated this with coffee latte, and I wanted to put a Christmas scene on it. So this is kind of where the table is. So I just want you to know that I put with floating medium, I just stroke on like this with floating medium, the burn umber, and up here was a metallic green. So then I take saran wrap, kitchen wrap, or this is wrap from the canvas, and I lay it on here and I rub my hands across it just like this and lift it off, and that's the finish you get. All right, and you can move it and do it more, but of course you keep the green up there and the brown down here. All right, and this is kind of fun. It's just underneath, and so it doesn't have to be perfect. But what I'm gonna do, excuse my throat today, this morning, I'm going to take Wicker White and make it kind of inky. All right, and I'm going to decide that I want my candle to be right up here. All right, and so I want it to be just a little bit of an oval, and then the wick's going to go right there. Okay, so I made that round too round. All right, then I'm going to come down. If you have chalk, you can use chalk too. I'd like to share with you too that you can do a screenshot and take it and enlarge it to the size you want for your canvas, and then trace it, and then you can apply it on your painting. All right, if you need a pattern. All right, so that's going to be the focus, is the candle. And so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to come here and take my 3/4 edge, and this is linen. All right, and so I'm going to come straight down on the chisel for the sides. All right, I hope you guys have subscribed, and also when you subscribe, ring the bell. All right, there's it shows a bell, and that tells you anytime I pop up and do a painting live, and let you know that I'm going to be on. All right, I also, that's where you hit subscribe. I also would like you to check out our membership. It's called One Stroke Advantage. And so you click on join, and when you click join, it'll show you all the opportunities you have to take advantage of One Stroke Painting as a member. And it starts at like $10. So for $10, you get 20% off of everything you buy on my website, anytime, any amount. Because when I have a sale, I usually say you have to spend so much money. But this one is anything that you need, you can go on and do it. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to let that dry for a few minutes. I'm going to start putting some evergreen. All right, and I'm going to use a 12 on the evergreen. Now, what's going to happen is I come over here to, these are all multi-surface paints. So see this, it's a multi-surface paint, and it has a sealer in it. It is acrylic, but it's for indoor, outdoor, and on glass, metal, ceramic, so many surfaces. Okay, guys, and you don't have to seal it afterwards. All right, so I'm going to pick up my 12 flat, and I'm going to pick up citrus and sap. All right, so what, and I'm gonna, sometimes I'll just come over here and grab a little bit of white if you have a dark surface back there, and I'm gonna come in here and decide I want a couple of evergreen pieces that are coming out here. But some of these I'll paint after I see where my poinsettia is gonna go. All right, and so some of them are gonna be down here. But like I said, we gotta paint the poinsettia petals first. All right, before I spend all that energy on something that won't show. All right, so I know that these are going to show. So I'm going to come out here and do little teeny strokes. All right. So see, now I'm going to look at this. I'll put the dark on the outside first, which is what I should have done because the light's not showing here. And then you can come and tip off the tips with some white, like they got a little snow or like it's variegated. All right. So I'm going to come out here, little teeny chisel strokes. So chisel means it's up on this edge. All right. Oops, sorry, excuse me. All right. So I'm just doing a couple, and then I'll show you, look what happens. I can come in here with white later, and then I could just tip the tips. Little tips of white. So I want you to see a difference in that one compared to that one. All right. So that's what you're going to see as we do that a little bit later. So I'm leading with the light color. Whatever follows is the prominent color. So I'm leading with the citrus green. And then I can come and tip it with white. All right, you can stand straight up on the chisel, get them really thin, or you can do a little thicker. All right, so that's going to start. We're going to put a wick up there. So before we do that, let's see. I'm going to come up just a little bit more. All right, I'm going to take floating medium on this sponge dauber. These are usually a wood handle. I just don't have any of those here. We were sold out of them. So, all right, so I'm going to take with the floating medium because I want it really transparent. I'm going to take and do a glow. So look, I'm going to go around in a circle to get the size I want. All right. Now you can make that with iridescent or sparkles or dragonfly glaze. All right. So I just want a light glaze, light glow there. And then I can take a smaller brush and we're going to put just, let's see, I'm going to put like yellow ochre with some yellow with it, maybe. Okay, just a light, and I'll put a teeny bit of white in that. So a little bit of white. All right, so I'm going to put the wick in there too, but I'm going to go on the edge and put that there. Okay, so what I don't have is I need my brown. Sorry, I thought I had that. Mm, there's some burn number. I hope you're getting ready for the holidays. I've got all kinds of fun painting I'm doing this month. If you want to come back and watch each week, and I have new lessons on Wednesdays and Fridays. And Friday's lessons always teaching you all about how to get started with one stroke and what you might want to be learning. Okay, so this is going to have a little bit of a glow. So I can put a little bit of that yellow. Okay, a little bit out here. All right, and we have a little bit more because the wax is going to go in there. I don't know if you can see this very well, but Let's take a little bit of this. Oops. Need that's blown out a little bit. Let me show you. Okay. Up a little bit so there's not such a glare on the camera. All right, this is a little bit of yellow ochre on the linen, but I'm putting a little bit of white in the yellow ochre. Okay. And I can float some brown tones later. But I want you to see I'm using my heat pen, which is also on my site. If you remember, you get 20% off. We're gonna just dry it up a little bit to the touch before I start putting the poinsettia petals on here. All right. So what's gonna happen? I am going to come around. Let me use that 10 flat. It's a little bit smaller. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to dip the corner into white. All right. And I'm going to put a little bits of wax here and with just the corner, like it's dripping. Okay. And I want it thick, guys. So I had people on Saturday in my lesson. They just dab, dab, dab the chisel, and there was no dimension. And it looks like they kind of like made a mistake. See the texture on there? Okay. Now we're going to have it coming down here. I'm going to put a little bit of floating medium, like some browns and all in here afterwards when we're done. See? All right. All right. Now, I don't think you see the shading enough, but you will later. All right. And so the first thing I want to do is get a 16 flat. And to get poinsettias to show good with an apple red, that's transparent, so it doesn't cover really well. So believe it or not, if we use a sap green, it kind of looks like it's black when it's on there, but it's not as harsh as black. And see, I'm going to work it in, but I'm going to keep that bright apple red on the outside. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is come right in here. And I'm going to come back. All right, so I'm going to go over here and come up. I'm going to come around here, try to keep my arm out of it so you can just see the red. All right. So out here, up here. So look at this. I'm just wiggling it and not doing a lot of peaks. Like usually we do peak, peak, peak to get those poinsettia points. But that can be so frustrating and hard if you're kind of new. So I'm just going for see how bright that red's going to be. I'm just going for a smoother look. So let's do some underneath petals out here. All right, so wiggle to the point. This is going to be underneath one. And another one here. So see, I'm spreading it out. Okay. And another one here. So see how I've spread out? So then I can put one layers of petals on top. Like you put the candle in the middle of a big poinsettia. Okay. Chisel, chisel right in the middle. Okay. Now I keep coming here. All right, so I'm going to come right in here. Got to have that bright red. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Then, okay, feel that you can see that layers on top. And then right in here, see how bright that red shows? You gotta make sure there's enough red on here. Like right here, I can come again. Now, if you put any light color in there, like whites or creams or whatever, it is going to make it like a pink color, and we don't want a pink color, right? That's not what we're going for. Now, I'm gonna go back over this one right here. I can show you how we can put a little bit of white at the end, but you can't put it while the red's white, wet. Okay, so then I'm gonna come right here. Yeah, I have to have enough dark green, sap green, that you can, the red pops. See? Okay. Isn't that gonna be pretty? All right, I need to put a little bit more up here. Okay, let's come up here. Come out here. See, I keep picking up that red. And then we're going to pull a stem. And we're just dragging the last red bristles in. All right. I can do a little one out here. Remember, we're going to put a bunch of evergreen out here too. And we're going to go just like this to put some berries. The dark green. And I'm going to do one more petal here. All right. Now, then what I want you to see is that's got a lot of depth. I'm going to make berries on top of there. But the green, right? We're going to come in here with sap green. And I'm going to, I should have put a little bit under here. Okay, if I put sap green in here, And the evergreen is gonna look pretty under there too. So this is thing that's important when you're doing any kind of bouquet. If you leave it like the white canvas, I mean, this is kind of dark under here, but if you leave it light, it's going to take away from your design if you want to get depth. So see, boom, 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 boom. See how that's looking rich? Now I can still kind of see where my evergreen's going. Okay. All right, a little bit more. I could put some dark up there a little bit up higher. Like a little bit in here. Okay, a little bit in here. A little bit in there. See to get that darkness next to the candle. What do you think so far? Not too bad, huh? All right, so now while that's kind of drying, I'm not going to mess with the red right now. I'm going to put a little red stem in there. Stem in here. All right, we want all that to dry before we mess with that. So I'm going to take the 12 again. And then let's get some of this dark green. This is actually a quick little project. And if you're doing multiples at the same time, you would take and do the candle on four to six of them. It doesn't make any sense to do more than six when you're multitasking, but I would go and do the candle on each one of them. And the cool thing about that is by the time you get back to it, it's all dry for the next step. And then we'll come and do the poinsettias on each one. Especially if you're selling your wares or if you're doing a big event. Okay. See, some of these, like I'm leading with the light, so the dark's going to take over. Then I can turn it around and lead with the dark, so the citrus shows. All right. Okay. So we're going to come down here. Remember I said whatever follows is the predominant color. So that's sap here. And I just keep picking up the sap. I don't pick up, see when I keep coming here, I'm not picking up the citrus each time. Just the sap. Okay, get some more out here. Okay, so all these are the ones I wanted the dark to show. Okay, so now I flip the brush. I'm coming in here with light, the citrus showing. So I'm leading with the dark. So don't forget to check out how much I teach you on the free lessons you can go watch. And those are this one each week. So we have hundreds for you to binge on. These and the membership, you get full hour lessons, 4 of them a month, plus 20% off everything is your advantage. Okay, so isn't that kind of fun? All right, so I'm going to take and do some berries. There's 2 ways you can do berries. You can use the handle of your brush and you can come right in here, which is a good size for this. Or you can use a dauber, a small dauber. See how bright red, you want that bright red to stand out. So I can put a few green ones. You know, I had just a little bit of the citrus in there. And I'm twisting those a little bit. Okay. You can also put a few of these in here, 3 at a time. 1, 2, 3. And you have to dip dot. It's got to be fresh paint. See that? You can't do it if the paint's starting to dry up. People try to do that, but you don't get a nice dot. See, we want a round dot that looks like a berry. So I scoop up paint, make circles. I can twist it if it's not turned into a circle. Isn't that kind of pretty? I thought you guys would like this. Okay. Now I can also take this brown and I'm going to take with my 2 script liner and make it inky. So it's burnt umber and I streak through the linen and I can take right in here. We're going to do some little twigs. So you got to have some of that light color to make it stand out. Okay, so we're not putting white, but we are making it so it looks like twigs. So we'll put some brown in here. 1 stroke painting means you blend shade and highlight in each stroke. So sometimes, because this is so wet, I'm doing one color and then I can come back and do the second color. But usually I do it at the same time. And I'm not going to take time right now to do each one of the highlights of the white like I did on this one. But I am going to show you. I just get some green on this brush. And then every time I come, I'll pick up some white. All right, so I'm going to spread out and do a few just so y'all see. See, that kind of really adds another dimension to your painting. But you can stop at any point. Sometimes I get carried away. All right, some people like to tap, 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 tap. Whatever you want to do, I usually pull it. All right. All right, now what we do need is I'm going to dry this another second because that wax, melted wax, isn't going to look good. Let me show you. Okay, that's not totally dry, but just dry enough for what I want to do. All right, so a couple of things. I want to take the medium with the 16. I want to pick up a little bit of yellow. And before I go in there and put some dragonfly glaze or some kind of iridescent, I could come around here and just get a glow. All right. And then I'm going to take floating medium and burnt umber. And I'm going to come right, oops, 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 oops. I'm going to come right in here and make that come down with some shading. But this has to be dry first. So see, I can come a little down in here and make sure there's no wet red. See how I'm shading it? It's called floating. So we float whatever color. If you don't like, if this is all dry and you're doing this and you're going, okay, I put too much brown. I'm not happy with this. You just take a wet paper towel or a wet wipe and you can just wipe off everything I'm doing right now and do it again, but less. Okay, so this paint will let you do that because it's got a sealer in it. But if you try that while it's still wet, you will have a mess, okay? All right, so now I'm going to come in here and do this white around here and a little bit of the white right in here. Let's do that again. There, and a little bit of white on the wick. All right. So see, I just wanted some shading in here. Just a little bit of shading. Because everything is dark and rustic. I want the candle to be a little rustic and not like perfect. All right, then I want to show you with a 12 flat, and I told you it's got to be all dry, right? So now I can take floating medium, work it into my 12 flat, and now I'm going to come here and pick up a teeny bit of white. Okay, so now look what happens. I can come right out here. And put little teeny bits. You see that? Isn't that kind of nice? It's like it's just enough, like the light touched it. But don't get carried away. I guess that little green spot was already there. I've been doing this lately on leaves and stuff, and I just think it really added to my piece. That kind of fun. And then you can, these are going to be really wet, but I can come in here and just touch a little bit of accent on the berries. Oops, this brush has got a bad tip on it. Just a little bit. I'm not doing all of them, I'm just doing some of them. Okay. All right, and the last thing you can do, and it's up to you if you want to add this, is I can take floating medium and burn umber, work it in, and I can come all around here. I'll do this side and let you look at it compared to the other side. Okay, so see how that gives it a little bit more depth in here. Right. And you could take some greens up above or just leave it. This is just darker down here. Okay, one other thing that I thought looked good is if I take these branches, I can take the branches with linen and I can come up here, linen and burn umber. I've got a little bit of white that might show better. All right. And I'm going to come around and have it wrapping around the candle. All right. So I hope you like this. I hope it gave you another fun project to paint for the holidays. And that this will be something that you know somebody just special, or you decorate your own house. Put it on an easel at your front door, or give it as a gift. All right, there you go. You like it? Let me know. Sign it and share it, okay? I'll see you next time.